Hello and welcome. In this lecture, we are going to write code that will make the matched pairs visible. So when you click on two icon pairs, if both of them match, we want them to remain visible on the screen. At the moment, when you click on two icons, they disappear. This lecture will make them stay on the screen if they are matching icon images. So the way we're going to implement this, we're going to use an if statement. We're going to add that to the label click event handler method, which is this method here, but we're going to come down here and add it just before the clock starts. So before the timer starts, we're going to add an if statement here. So I've added an if statement just before the timer start method. So this highlighted here is the if statement I have added on. So let me explain that. The first line of the if statement here, basically what that is doing is checking to see if the icon in the first label that the player has chosen is the same as the icon in the second label that the player has chosen. If the icons are identical, the program will execute these three lines of code here. Okay, it will execute the three lines of code which are between these two curly braces. The first two, which is the first click equals null and the second click equals none, what that does, this two statement will reset the first click and the second click reference variables. It sets that to null. That way it no longer keeps track of any of the labels. The third statement is a return statement, which is on line 80. The return statement basically tells the program to skip the rest of the statement in the method without executing them. Please note the difference between a double equals to sign here and a single equals to sign. The double equals to sign is used to check a value. Okay, it checks a condition, whereas this one here is single equals to is used to assign. It's called an assignment operator. It assigns a value. So double equals to checks or compares a value or a condition. It's used to compare or check, while single is used to assign. All right, let's save our code because we've got some yellow strip here, and then we can test what we've written so far. So let's click on the start to start debugging it. We'll wait for it to load. Okay, so what should happen now is that once we start clicking on each of these boxes in the grid, if we choose icons that do not match, it will trigger the timer's tick event, and both icons that do not match will disappear. However, if we choose or matching pairs or icons that match, the if statement will execute, and it will return a statement that causes the method to skip the code that starts the timer. That way, both matched icons will remain visible on the screen. So let's check that out. So I click that, it doesn't match, so I expect that to disappear. I click that, and that should disappear because it doesn't match. Okay, I'm trying to look for matching pairs. Doesn't match. Ooh, okay. Oh, I know. Okay, where did I see an I? So you need to actually take note of where you saw stuff. Okay, I know there's an I here. I know there's one here. So I expect that to stay on the screen. You notice that now the timer method, start timer method, has stopped and then it resets itself because we found a matching pair. Okay, so the code is working as designed. The mechanics of the logic of the game is basically done. So the game is basically complete. But what we need to do, we need to implement a method that will verify when the player has won the game. So we'll try and implement that in our next lecture. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.